Preview leadership. We're going to discuss the trait approach, the functional approach, and how task versus process is a part of the functional approach, the styles approach, and how authoritarian, democratic, and laissez faire leadership styles make up the styles approach, the situational approach, and the transformational approach. The trait approach is a view of leadership that identifies specific qualities or characteristics of effective leaders. The guiding principle is that leaders possess certain traits or characteristics that contribute to leadership effectiveness. The functional approach is a view of leadership that identifies the key task and process roles that need to be performed in a group. The guiding principle of the functional approach is that leaders influence others through two primary functions: task functions, which help accomplish the work, and process functions, which help establish a positive climate. Some examples of traits found in the trait approach might include intelligence, confidence, social skills, administrative skills, physical energy, and enthusiasm. The task and process functions found in the functional approach might include, for task functions, set and record agendas, the creation and dissemination of handouts, how long a meeting is, the proposal of new ideas, seeking information, suggesting options, and evaluating ideas. Process functions might include energizing the team, mediating conflict, facilitating compromise, and monitoring discussions. The styles approach is a view of leadership that identifies three methods of interacting when leading others: authoritarian, democratic, and laissez faire. Authoritarian leaders direct and control others. Democratic leaders solicit input from others and seek to lead by involving others in the decisions. Laissez faire leaders intentionally influence others only when asked or directed by others to lead. The situational approach is a view of leadership as an interactive process in which a leader gauges how to lead based on such factors as the quality of the relationships among group members, the power of the leader, the nature of the task, and the maturity of the group. In other words, the situational approach has the guiding principle of leadership is an interactive process in which a leader adapts his or her approach based on such factors as the quality of group member relationships, the nature of the task, and time limitations. The transformational approach is a view of leadership that defines a leader as one who leads by shaping the vision of a group and by developing trust through quality interpersonal relationships with group members. The guiding principle of the transformational approach is that a leader influences others by developing a shared vision and using listening and leadership building skills to create a climate of trust. Lao Tzu is famous for having said, "The wicked leader the people despise. The good leader the people revere. Of the great leader the people say, 'We did it ourselves.'" There are two frames to be aware of: monochromatic and polychromatic. Monochromatic is defined as preferring to do one thing at a time, paying attention to deadlines and schedules, and using time efficiently. People from North America and Northern Europe tend to be more monochromatic. Deadlines and timelines are valued, and research suggests that for North Americans, monitoring the clock and being aware of how much time there is to accomplish the work can enhance productivity. Polychromatic is defined as preferring to do many things at once, placing less emphasis on deadlines and schedules, and considering relationships to be more important than work and meeting deadlines. More polychromatic cultures include Latin Americans, Southern Europeans, and Middle Easterners. Deadlines and strict adherence to schedules are less important. Western cultures have a tendency to approach a discussion of problems in groups or teams in a linear step-by-step manner. Structuring, scheduling, and agendas are important. In Eastern cultures, such as China and Japan, problem-solving approaches are often a less structured, more narrative approach. If you find you're in a group whose members have a different cultural approach to time, consider these suggestions. Don't pounce on other team members or accuse them of being laggards or slave drivers. Let them know some of your assumptions about how work should be done. Take some time to talk about those differences. Conversation and compromise can accomplish a lot when you find yourself facing cultural differences. 3 steps to better structure. To create an agenda, be sure to determine meeting goals, identify what needs to be discussed to achieve the goal, and organize the agenda. To create more useful agendas, use the 5 problem-solving steps with subheads for information, discussion, and action items. Remember to put the most important items first, the most challenging items in the middle, and the most contentious issues for after easily agreeable issues. Start by asking if anyone wants to add an agenda item. Then address an item that will engage everyone. Estimate the time for each discussion. Each discussion will take longer than expected. Be sure to be aware of how you're managing interaction. Use gatekeeping skills. Use meta discussion. Monitor time. Use structure to manage interaction. Meta discussion is discussion about the discussion process. It's comments that help the group remain focused on the goals of the group or that point out how the group is doing its work. In managing your interactions, organize what you say, make sure you're not rambling. Speak to the point, speak clearly and forcefully, support your ideas with evidence, and be sure to listen. If you're a part of a virtual meeting, be sure to get down to business right away, communicate frequently, use short messages, don't wait until you have a long message stored up to send it, work on several parts of your agenda at once, let other members know that you have read their messages, be explicit about what you are doing and thinking, and be sure to keep and set deadlines. Here's where we've been. We talked about the advantages of group problem solving. We talked about the dimensions that comprise all problem solving groups. We talked about how one can structure and manage group problem solving. We discussed the approaches to effective leadership, and we discussed important meeting considerations.